just like, what is happening now? Can we not win in one? Like, so hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Chilo, if I say so myself. If you see me for the first time, my name is Chioma, aka Chilo. I'm a Nigerian and I'm currently living and studying here in Japan. So guys, this year is going to make it 4 years that I have been studying and living here in Japan. Apart from me, I know other people that have been here for 6 years, 5 years. Recently, I saw someone that said he has been here for 29 years. That one is small safe. I know another person that has said he has been here for 30 something years. I know people that have been here 40 something years. See, there's that category of people, right, that have been living in Japan for several years. Now, in as much as you hear this category of people and think, oh, everybody will come and like Japan, is not true. There is another category of people that stay less than a month. I kid you not. Less than a year, less than 1 semester. Some people literally quit in the middle of maybe their program. So there is the category of people that really, quote and unquote, enjoy Japan and end up staying for several years. And there's a category of people that is just like, I'm done. I'm out of here. Peace out. See you guys when we see again, and they leave. So the thing is, this does not only happen in Japan. Was it last year I watched this video that went semi-viral? It was suggested to me, a young lady that said she just couldn't cope. She's a Nigerian, she just couldn't cope in Canada and she upped and left. It's not just a Japan thing. You see people do it in Canada, US, Europe, name it, UK, everywhere. People up and leave. Now, what may be good for person A may not be good for person B. So I'm just trying to say that Japan, there are some reasons why some people leave Japan. There are some reasons why some people end up not enjoying Japan, and that's what today's video would be all about. So this video would, I think, should help you balance perspective and help you manage your expectations. I've been trying to do videos like this, recently, especially because recently I noticed that a good number of you people watching me are watching me because you're looking at coming to Japan sometime in the nearest future, or some of you have just landed Japan. So videos like this will help you understand that it's not only you what is happening to, or it will help you better prepare yourself to prevent having the same experience like other people. See, experience, they say, is the best teacher, but who said it has to be your experience? You can learn from other people's experience. So today's video is basically just the possible reasons, or the reasons why people don't enjoy Japan or end up not staying in Japan for long. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you 5 possible reasons why people don't end up like enjoying Japan, or why people don't love Japan, or why people leave Japan. Anyhow you want to take it. But before I start giving you the 5 reasons, very subtle disclaimer, this video, like I will always say, is in no way discouraging you from coming to Japan. I don't even have the moral justification to tell you not to come, because I'm still here, right? But like I said, this video will just help you to manage your expectations and be better prepared. So the very first reason on this list is definitely language. See, if I finish this list and I did not call language, you people are supposed to come and look for me and find me. It is language. I feel like people underestimate the effects living in a country that you don't speak their first language has on you. See, you cannot deny it. Even though you end up really speaking their language, or you started learning from your country or whatsoever, you cannot deny that there is that effect. It is a lot, it is plenty, but to mention but a few is there are some people that cannot cope with the fact that you literally have little to no privacy at some point. Because if you're naturally someone that is a very private person, you don't like people all up in your business, and then all of a sudden you're now living in a country where you literally need someone to interpret things for you. Maybe you have a document or a file and it's something that you don't want people to really know, or people all up in your business. Like, fam, Japan, like, you may be here and you just be like, it just starts frustrating you. Also, another effect that in the language has on you is you see yourself like struggling to communicate sometimes. You communicate your thoughts sometimes. Now, it's not like you don't know you're not knowledgeable about the subject matter. This is outside school. I'm talking about interacting with locals, of course. Sometimes you're in a gathering, maybe you're talking about politics, maybe you're talking about, culture, tourism. You're very knowledgeable about that subject matter. But how to express yourself fully is something that you just tell yourself at some point. You're like, let me just keep quiet. I must not talk. Initially, it may come to you like, it's not, well, let me just keep quiet, and you just be sweeping it under carpet. But at some point it piles up and you start building some sort of resentment, because you're just like, who am I? Like, I've become a shadow of myself. I'm no longer expressive and stuff like that. Another effect language has on you is maintaining friendships. See, what is friendship without communication? Tell me again, what is friendship without communication? You literally need to communicate, and one way to communicate is language, of course. You need language, you need communication to build and maintain a friendship. Now, if you're someone that you're a very friendly person, you're used to, you're a life of the party, you're very extroverted, and now you're literally struggling to communicate, keep up a conversation. Maybe you even succeed to make friends, which is something that is not even so easy here in Japan. Oh yeah, maintain it now. Time to maintain it is a problem, because you're literally struggling to keep conversations flowing, to communicate your thoughts, to express yourself, to be vulnerable, to be transparent as much as possible, and the language keeps acting as a friction. Another reason, see, I can go on and on. Another possible reason is that fear of being misunderstood. See, let's even assume that you've finally learned the act of trying to express yourself with the survival Japanese you know. One day like this, you will just mistakenly say something that you didn't mean, and you find yourself trying so hard to explain. That's not what I was trying to say. That's not what I was trying to say. That's not what I implied. It's not true. No, I was trying to say this. And the person is just looking at you like, So a lot of foreigners who fall in, like, if you take a pool or check the statistics, I feel like this language issue is one of the top reasons why some foreigners up and leave. People are just like, sometimes you don't even know when it's piling up till you're just like, nah, I'm done. Like, you're just like, no, I can't do this. I'm done. I cannot keep, like, let's say someone who was very expressive, very loud, very extroverted, and you wake up one day and you just start asking yourself, who am I? Who have I become? I've become so introverted, so reserved. I don't speak my mind. Like, some people just up and leave, but I can tell you for a fact that language makes the top of this list. So that's the first reason. The second reason, guys, weather. See, I think that a lot of times we don't talk so much about the weather situation here in Japan, but I'm going to talk about it in this video. If you ask me to describe Japan's weather in 2 words, what will it be? Extreme and uncertain. What did I say? Extreme and uncertain. See, when it's cold, it's very cold. When it's hot, it's very hot. Like, the winter period, yes, I know that some countries are definitely colder than Japan, but then comparing it to where I come from, which is Nigeria, see, Japan is very cold. There are even some cities inside the same Japan that are definitely colder than some others. Example, Hokkaido is one of the coldest cities in Japan, but generally and on an average, Japan is so cold. See, I'll give you an example as much as I can for all these reasons. We had seminar one Thursday during the winter period, and the heater was on. I was wearing sweater, everything, winter jacket and all, boots, name it, the normal winter gears. I was sweating up. I was warm enough. I'm not sweating. I was warm enough in my upper region, but for some weird, funny, and strange reasons, my legs were so cold, were shaking. Like, I was just like, what is happening now? Can we not win in one? Like, I remember having the conversation with the lab member after the seminar. I'm like, please, was I the only one that my legs were freezing? And he said, I wasn't. That he gave me like a science behind the whole weather thing. He was like, the truth is, hot air tends to float, while colder air tends to sink, like it's denser, something in the line of the density. So that's the reason why the hot air from the heater was just on the surface, like the upper region, and the down part was still very cold. I was just like, there is even a science behind it. Now let's talk about the summer. See, It's just recently people in the other part of the world are talking of heat stroke. We here, we started experiencing our own heat stroke. Was it May? Ending May or beginning June? I remember one Sunday I woke up, I was like, what is this? Like, the heat was literally what woke me up. I'm like, it's no yet summer now. Like, it was so hot. Like, when people ask me, but you're from Nigeria, I'm like, I beg, please, you people should, let's be careful. Let's be careful. There is no comparison whatsoever between Japan's summer and Nigerian weather. The reason is Nigeria is hot, yes, but it's not humid. Japan is hot and humid. There's so much air in the water in the atmosphere. You're sweating, your body is itching you. Like, the weather here is very extreme. It can get, let me not say is, it can get very extreme, both the cold season and the hot season. Then let's talk about the uncertainty of the weather. You can literally wake up and look through your glass or your window and it's sunny and you're like, such a nice sunny day. And then you will now wear clothes for sun, Abby. You now be coming back from school. Cold or snow will now be falling. You're just like, what is all this? The weather can be very, very uncertain. Like, some days it starts off like it's looking like it's raining and you're like, oh, it might be a bit chilly. You leave your house wearing normal clothes and you end up being so hot. Like, the weather can also be very uncertain. Now, the side effect of this thing, it may sound just like, oh, weather. The thing is, most sicknesses foreigners experience, not all, can be linked to the drastic weather changes. There was a time I was always falling ill, and anytime I go to the hospital, doctors would be like, oh, it's the weather. Oh, it's the weather. At the point I was like, it's not the weather, check me. Because I was like, how does the weather correlate? And they tried to explain that the drastic change could, affect your body system. Plus, there are some hormones that are linked to weather. Plus, there is flu. Plus, so many things can be linked to this. So, a lot of foreigners just, it gets to a point where it's just like, maybe if you came from a country that does not experience that kind of drastic change, you get to a point where you're just like, please, I can't do this with you people anymore. I'm done. So I'm going to try to give you what you can do for most of these reasons I will give. I forgot to do that for the first reason, which was language. Now, for language, guys, I have a video on my channel that explained how you can survive and thrive in Japan if you don't speak Japanese language. I'll link it somewhere up here and I'll try and put it in the description box. Watch that video and see the tips I advise than me giving you summary here. But something I noticed in that video is a lot of people watched that video and they were coming for me like, oh, how can you live in a country for several years and you cannot speak the language? It's like if people underestimate language. Let me give you a little science behind language, very little one. There is actually a part of the brain responsible for language. So beyond the surface reasons like, okay, motivation, there is that, commitment, willingness, enthusiasm, there is that part of learning a language. There are some people that part of their brain that is related to learning language is not as developed as some other people. And so what happens is that there are people who tend naturally to learn languages much faster than other people. Also, age plays a factor. That's the reason why they will tell you things like children tend to learn languages more than another person. So don't use your yardstick to judge another person's own, or don't use your case to judge my case or my case to judge your case. And I stated it in that video. Everybody will not be the same level on the same journey. Some people will move faster, some people will move slower, some people will move on the average. At the end of the day, the important thing is that you are moving. Okay, all right. So language is definitely not as surface level as some people think. Now, when it comes to what you can do for the weather point I gave, I will always advise people to use their weather forecast a lot. Don't rely on just looking through your windows. It would mislead you a lot of times. Check your weather forecast. The weather forecast here, I would say 90% is very correct. So if the weather tells you that the hottest it will get is maybe 22 or 21 or 27, you should know what that means to your body. Do you want to pad up some more? Do you want to dress lighter? Whatever it is, dress appropriately to the weather forecast. Second reason or second tip for the weather I would give is try to have a little of every season in your school bag. This is just a personal tip. You don't have to do it. For me, example, I have a sweater, a small sweater, and I have my umbrella in my school bag, just in case there is a 10% inaccuracy in the weather forecast. I have my umbrella if the rain starts falling while I'm out. Then the sweater is just in case I thought it was sunny or hot, and then I get to somewhere and I'm feeling cold. I can easily bring out the sweater. It's just a small sweater and wear, and to give me a certain level of warmth. So that is the tip for weather. Let's get to the third reason. The third reason I'll give is food. Yes, as simple or as low or as underrated food is, it's particular one of the reasons, or it can be one of the reasons why some people up and leave Japan. Now, I don't know where you're watching me from or where you are from originally, but I'm from a country that we eat a lot of spicy food. And to be fair and honest, I think the countries that eat spicy food in the world maybe are more than the countries that do not eat spicy food. Japan don't eat spicy food. So imagine coming from a country that eats, spicy food. You're used to peppered snail, peppered chicken, sauce and all those things, and then you come to Japan and then it's like just maybe sushi and salad, like just non-spicy things. Now the thing is, during your honeymoon phase, initially you will be so excited to try it out. You're over the moon, you're trying out all the dishes, you're trying out all the food, you're excited to explore. But as you stay longer, it probably may start getting to you, because you're just like, see, believe it or not, food is one way you feel close to home. It's a very intricate part of culture. So some days it might get to you, you're just like, oh God, I want to eat this, not this. Like, this is not what I want to eat. And especially if you're someone that don't cook often, like you don't make homemade food back from your home country, you buy food, you eat out, you go to restaurants, it might be hard. Because if you want to do eating out here, then definitely what they will be serving you is the most common meal in the country where you are, which is Japan, right? So yeah, food. I've actually heard people say things like, please, I really need a trip back home. I want to travel. I need a break because of food. Yes, it can get that deep. Truth be told, it can get that deep. And the tip I have for this food is cook. Please, as much as you can, cook. I understand and appreciate the fact that even though I'm someone that cook, example, if you watch my vlogs, you already know this, I still eat out sometimes as a form of integration, like with my lab members. For example, if we go somewhere in the lab, and of course you eat to bond, you bond over food, you have discussions, you gist, you banter. You will not now go for an outing, carry your bento box or your lunch box and sit down eating your rice and stew. No, now you bond over their food. I understand that part, but majority of the time, at least have the things that you like in your house. Whip up something, whip up something to cook. There's a lot of cooking videos on YouTube these days. Even if you didn't learn how to cook from back at home, you can watch YouTube videos. Now the fourth point on this list is definitely people. The people. Yeah, this is quite ambiguous and cumbersome and can be easily misunderstood, but the truth is, Japanese people, as amazing as they can be, they are very reserved, I don't know how to explain it, but one major attitude or thing I feel like really affects foreigners, especially when you're trying to be friends with them, is that thing of saving face. I understand the concept of saving face, don't get me wrong. It is amazing to always consider how the next person feels, or not trying to embarrass the next person, which is the basis of Japanese culture. But when you overthink of it in a way that you have reservation, maybe someone did something that you don't like. See, friendship is that particular relationship where you would offend your friend, sometimes unintentionally, sometimes intentionally, but the ability to say, oh, you did this, you said this, I didn't like it, oh, I'm sorry, and the other person would apologize, or you will have some sort of closure, is very key in friendships. But if you keep it to yourself, bottle it, and it's paining you, what happens is you build resentment, and before you know, you detach yourself from your friend, and you've not said anything. The person will wake up one day and be wondering, what happened? Like, I used to be close to Chioma, or I used to be close to this person, and we are no longer close anymore. So it is something that a lot of foreigners struggle with, because imagine you are in a lab, and just imagine that you are in a lab and you have just maybe two very close friends, and all of a sudden you realize that one of your friends, first of all, maybe one person graduated, and then the second person that you thought will help you to do rebound while you are still in the lab starts giving you attitude, and you're trying to think, what did I do, what did I say, where did I get it wrong, and you cannot trace anything. It can be really hurting. So a lot of times some foreigners have had some fallouts, like they don't even know what happened, and so it just makes the country less and less interesting, because maybe all your friends have either graduated, or they are not vocal, or you are not as close as you used to be to them, and before you know, you just, I don't know, you just lose interest in the country, and the next thing you hear someone says, I'm done, I'm going. So the tip I always give for this is, start with the energy you want to receive in your friendship. Now, I'm not saying, of course, there is that part of when you're in Rome, behave like the Romans. There is that part. But what I'm just trying to say is, let them know that this is how you want your friendship to be. You know, also learn to be as vocal and polite as possible. You don't have to be blunt when you're saying your peace of mind. I think there's a video I did with Yoshi where he said one of the things that he noticed or liked about our friendship is the fact that I was able to say, oh, I didn't like this, or you didn't say this, or the way you said this thing, and all. And what happens is, when you give off that energy, unconsciously they return the energy to you, because maybe when you do something or say something, person can jokingly, even if it's with joke, but you are, this thing you said, she like, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, and you know, no hard feelings, nothing is swept under the carpet, no resentment is built, everybody is fine, everybody is good. And the last point, which is number 5, is culture. Culture is broad. Sometimes trying to explain culture can get you in trouble. Culture is actually a mix of everything I have already said in this video. It is language, it is food, it is people, it is way of life, it's belief system, it's broad, it's religion. But I'm just going to narrow this particular point to 2 things, which is religion and rigidity and stuff like that. So now for religion, Japan has a population of, I'm a Christian, so I will talk for the one I know of, population of just about 1% of Christians. So that means that you don't have a lot of people in your church or in your community when it comes to your faith. I've heard a lot of foreigners complain about, oh, my walk with God is dwindling, my faith with God is reducing, my enthusiasm for the things of God is decreasing, either because maybe they didn't find a church in the city where they live, or maybe the only church they found speaks Japanese, and you're just there and you're asking yourself, I'm not understanding, I'm just fulfilling all righteousness. A lot of people, if you're someone like me that faith is really dear to you, like faith is actually very dear to you, you would understand how very important this can be to people, and a big enough reason for someone to say, I'm done, and stand up and leave. And the second point I will talk about in this culture is the rigidity, the value system. Japanese people are so efficient. See, give it to them. Give accolades to who accolades is due. Japanese people are very efficient. Talk about efficiency in their work ethics, in their transport system, in their, they are just very efficient set of people. Now, as beautiful as this efficiency can be, it has its ripple effect, which is when a system is based solely on efficiency, you almost forget that you're dealing with human beings and not robots. And if you know anything about dealing with human beings, you know that human beings are a whole ball of hormones, emotions, uncertainties. Do you get me? Someone might actually plan their tomorrow, and then you wake up and the next day you're sick or something happened. So there needs to be the room for, when you're making rules, you make rules remembering that, okay, these are human beings, right? Things could go wrong, or it may not go as planned. So in case it doesn't go as planned, what is the plan B? But a lot of times in Japan, there is little to no room for that flexibility, just because they have gotten so used to efficiency. Someone gisted me recently of a train station that had few minutes lateness, and come and see the chaos in that train station. I'm just like, you don't mean it. Some people had to cancel work, cancel meet. It was like a full-blown chaos. Like there's little to no room for flexibility. So it puts a lot of foreigners under pressure. Let's say even when you're not feeling fine or you're not feeling so well, you're not just feeling like it, you just keep going because you don't want to be seen like lazy or seen in a certain kind of way. Worst of all, you now have a very maybe rigid professor or a very rigid work environment that doesn't really remember this thing, and you just go, and sometimes it's when you're already at the verge of burning out, that is when you just hear people say, I cannot I cannot do this, I am going. Luckily for me, my professor is a very amazing and balanced person, and he respects and he knows that he's dealing with human beings. He's always very quick to tell you, prioritize your health, prioritize your mental health, prioritize yourself. Are you fine? Are you okay? Why are you not smiling? You don't look happy. But I understand that is not the case for everybody. So if you fall into this situation of culture having its effect on you, my advice would just always be, look out for people that have come before you in your city, people who, maybe if you're a student, senior students who are maybe from Nigeria, or who just foreign students. Talk with them, explain your concerns to them. If it's about religion, I know it was actually a senior colleague of mine that took me to the first church I attended, and it was quite nice. I won't lie, it was bilingual and it was nice too. So guys, this is all for this video. I didn't want this video to be too long, and now it looks like it is very long. If you're in Japan, I know this list is not exhaustive. There's no way I can finish all the possible reasons why people up and leave. So add your thoughts in the comment section. Even if you're not in Japan and you're watching me from a country that is not your original country, add your thoughts in the comment section. Also, if you're watching and you want to come to Japan, just tell me which of these points you already knew, or you're hearing for the first time, or what you generally think about the reasons I gave that people leave Japan. Once again, this video is in no way discouraging you from coming to Japan, because at the end of the day, there is still the category of people that have stayed here for years and are thriving and are enjoying their stay. I'm just putting this video to help you manage your expectations. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, see you next time on Chilotalks. Bye for now, guys.